you have extraordinarily ancient and profound neurological systems that really govern your psyche, that process hierarchical information. Do what is meaningful, not what is expedient. The sense of meaning, the sense of engagement that characterizes life when life is progressing in the manner that you would like it to progress is actually an instinct. It's not a cognitive phenomenon. It's not a second-order consequence of thought. It's way deeper than that. It's an extraordinarily profound instinct. And so that's really worth thinking about. Meaning is an instinct. A deep, deep instinct is overwhelming. What is meaningful, not what is expedient, because meaning is an instinct. And meaning is the instinct that guides you in life across the totality of life, right? What's expedient, that's what you might want to do right now in an impulsive sense, right? Because you're driven forward by, anger or anxiety or frustration or disappointment or despair, some sort of one-eyed motivational monster that's got you in its grip that really isn't considering everything at once, right? Like considering your life tomorrow or your life next week or your family's life or maybe even your well-being half an hour from now, because you lash out in anger, and you can, people do that. It's understandable. Sometimes it's even necessary, but it's not wise generally. And the instinct for meaning seems to be a consequence of the integration of all of those underlying motivations and emotions with social being, and then the manifestation of something like the proper pathway forward. And you need that because you need to know how to move forward in life, because you need to move forward in life. You need to act in life. We're not fundamentally creatures who passively perceive the objective world. That's not the goal of our perceptual systems. It's not the goal of our memory. The reason that you have memories isn't to remember the past. The reason you have memories is so that if something bad happened to you in the past, you can figure out what it was that was bad, and you can figure out why it happened, and then you can not do it again in the future, right? It's very practical. And it's the same on the positive end of the spectrum. If good things happened to you in the past, then conceivably duplicating whatever you did to get those good things to happen could have them happen again in the future. So it's practical memory, and it's oriented towards action, and it's oriented towards like the quality of your life, not to the description of the objective world, even though that may be a useful thing to do. Tell the truth, or at least don't lie. And originally that rule was just tell the truth. To tell the truth implies that you know the truth. And you don't know the truth because you're too ignorant to know the truth. Like, you don't know the truth about anything fully, right? If you push your knowledge out far enough, if I ask you why about something you're doing enough times, it's usually only 3 or 4 times, by the way, you're out answers, you don't know. And same generally if I ask you how something works. Like, how does a helicopter work? Well, the little whirly things spin, and I don't know, this thing like rock-like entity rises into the air. It's like, really, that's a pretty sad explanation. And that's kind of the level of detail that you have about a lot of things. So, you're pretty ignorant, like everyone else. It's just so, there's just so many, there's just too many things to know, and they're detailed and difficult. And so you get by with a pretty shallow understanding of most things. And so you can't really tell the truth, but I think you can not lie. And that's not even the same as not being wrong, because of course you're also going to be wrong, and you're going to have stupid theories too, and they're not even necessarily lies. A lie is when you know that what you're saying is not true and you say it anyways. That's a lie, and it's a lie that you've decided yourself on the basis of your own knowledge. That's a lie. And if you can't trust yourself because you've filled yourself up with nonsense, then you'll make the wrong decision, and then, hey, maybe you'll pay for it for the rest of your life. And maybe you'll deserve to as well. Because life is really, really difficult, right? I mean, people have a rough time of it. There's plenty of suffering in life, and everyone is going to encounter it. There's a tragedy or 2 or 3 or 10 lurking not very far beneath the surface. Someone in the family is very ill. There's a childhood history of extreme pathology, alcoholism somewhere in the family, maybe a touch of insanity, someone has cancer, you know, an older relative is dying, there's financial trouble, there's economic trouble, there's marital trouble. It's like life is trouble. And now, you know, that doesn't mean it's all trouble, but man, it's trouble. And sometimes it's a lot of trouble. And sometimes it's so much trouble that you can barely stand it. There's a lot of darkness underneath the suffering. And so, and that's an ever-present existential danger for human beings, you know. We're aware of the future, we're aware of our fragility, we're aware of our mortality. It's something that makes us truly unique, truly conscious in a way that no other creature is, and capable of things that no other creature can do, but also bearing an unbelievably heavy existential load. We're the only creatures that have to always contend with the fact that we're finite and that everyone we know is in the same position, that allied with the suffering. Like, a meaningless life isn't meaningless. It's suffering and malevolence. That's not good.